The mind is really a funny place. So is the body. Yesterday I came down this really struggling, barely making it. There was no way I could imagine I would ever do this again, ever. And now, not even 12 hours later, I'm going back up. Totally beats me.
Let me start by saying that it's a real privilege to be able to choose how you suffer. Not everyone has that choice. But let's go back to see how I actually made that choice.
You better make this episode a lot more entertaining than the last one. Also, did someone actually tell you that you look terrible? I mean, did you floss and brush your teeth in the last 4 days?
Just got up, eating shit.
Before I did anything else, I ate and drank a lot. A challenging part of a solo and self-supported FKT is that you gotta do everything by yourself. Nobody cooks for you, serves you food, refills your pack, or helps you making decisions. If you really want to be efficient, you gotta be very organized. For example, I try to have everything available right around my chair so that I don't have to get up.
Well, you seem to surround yourself mostly with chips. You definitely could have been a lot more efficient if you hadn't been a whiny baby. I mean, I can't even see blood. What's your problem?
Hey sweetie, this is a message from your spouse. I've been tracking you and I can't believe how slow you've been. I don't think you can do a third loop. You're probably just too old for that. Also, your pet gerbil is having diarrhea. Should I euthanize it? And please don't forget to change your underwear before you come home. I'm sure it's been a while. Love you, bye.
Once I had fed myself, I formulated a test for my feet. Because I had to extend my campground registration, I needed to go to the vending machine by the entrance, which was less than a quarter mile away. I told myself that if I could run there without any foot or other issues, I would head out for a third loop. If not, I wasn't actually sure what I would do. So I put on my shoes and ran there. To my big surprise, I actually felt great, and I really didn't have any excuse to quit. So I purchased another 2-day campground pass, ran back to the car, and started to get ready for loop number 3.
Alright, the decision to go has been made. I'm going. It's about 10:50 on, Sunday?
12:17. Start. We are ready. I can't believe I'm leaving again. I really didn't think that through. If I'm lucky, I'll be back in 40 hours. 40 hours. New shoes, new socks, and new underwear. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, turns out a lot can still go wrong. However, for now I felt surprisingly well, energized, and ready for loop number 3.
There are endless stairs like that. Endless. The risk is that you're always taking the step, or more often, with your stronger leg. Don't do that.
It's naturally tempting to take steps both up and down, always with the same leg. Don't do that. It may lead to overuse injuries. I learned that the hard way in the Grand Canyon the first time I did it.
Well, you tell people to be balanced and whatnot, but you don't come across as very balanced yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
I think this sort of exercise, if you can call it like that, is sort of like a counterexample of the sunken cost fallacy. Because once you've done 2 loops, you've invested so much time that quitting would have a really high cost. Because the next time you want to do 3, well, you have to do 1 and 2 before. So there's a really interesting cost-benefit analysis there.
This is a trigger warning. In the next sequence, the word ass will be mentioned.
To make good decisions, it is usually good to ignore the sunk cost. Yet, in the case of repetitive challenges, such as this one, the sunk cost fallacy may actually be good for you. If I wouldn't have considered the enormous cost of completing the first 2 loops, I may have never started on the 3rd one.
Well, you come across as a smartass. I look at you more as an old ass, though.
That you can do if you feel a lot of pain. You're mentally cutting through your nerve strands.
You can mentally suppress pain by using what I call a mental scalpel that cuts your nerve strands so that you don't feel pain anymore. It needs training to achieve that level of mental control, but I think it's a great example of where the mind rules over the body.
Good lord. I mean, what have you been smoking? Are you going to practice mindfulness next or what?
There's a lot of bridges in the Wonderland, and some are really dangerous right now. My thinking is always, what if you fall in? Can you survive that? Can your adventure survive that? Would you have enough extra layers to change into something dry? And are your extra layers packed in a way that they wouldn't be all soaked?
No matter what the weather forecast may look like, pack your extra layers in a waterproof bag. You just don't know when you may fall into a river. It certainly happened to me.
So much for positive thinking. Are you also packing a wetsuit and some snorkeling gear? I mean, you can prepare for everything, right?
Everything needs to be as easy as possible. You really have to optimize everything in every possible way to remove as much discomfort as possible, make things as easy as possible. Because whatever is left is still going to be a lot of discomfort. But every little detail matters.
Everything that isn't easy leads to friction. If you don't have your food accessible, you probably won't eat enough. If filtering water is a pain, you may not filter at all. You want to be as organized and as optimized as possible to prevent the literal and proverbial friction.
Well, we all know that easy isn't just a universal solution. Clearly, you haven't heard of the saying that the most interesting things happen out of your comfort zone.
It is inevitable that things will break and you will fall apart on such long distance things. And troubleshooting is perhaps one of the most versatile and most useful skills to have. It's not the endurance per se.
Ultra running and completing FKT adventures is in large parts about troubleshooting. Very few things usually happen according to plan, and success often boils down to one's ability to deal with unexpected problems. Be creative and do the best with what you have available.
Yeah, but most of your problems were predictable and could have easily been prevented. I mean, how is it possible that you still run out of food?
Chafing is a good example. The longer you go, the more likely something will chafe. And once your flesh is hanging out, you can't just apply a little bit of body glide and things will be good again. What are you going to do to fix that? Chafing can be debilitating. It can end your adventure. It is extremely painful. And I'll give you another example. When I'm tired and change my gait a little bit, I may hit my ankle with the other shoe. And after a while, that ankle starts to swell. It starts to hurt like hell. I realize that I start hitting my ankle. I take some that moss, stuff it in here, then it becomes very soft. If I hit it, no damage is done. Zero cost, great fix.
Well, that's enough tips for today. The adventure must continue. And then, the unexpected happened. I saw smoke. Well, what I initially thought was smoke from a nearby wildfire was actually fog and clouds. I was very relieved and moved on.
It is very foggy. Fog is sitting in the valleys. But worse are the cobwebs. Especially at night, you have to be really careful to make sure you're going in the right direction. Especially since I've done this now 3 times. Either way feels fine. Nothing feels really wrong. Everything is familiar.
It's a lot easier than what you may think to go the wrong way after a quick trail nap. You wake up, you're very cold, you're extremely tired, your vision may be blurred, and you may have a very buzzed mind. That's exactly when such errors happen.
Well, this doesn't speak for your intelligence. Instead of giving tips to others, how about you put your own house in order first? You barely seem to have things under control for yourself.
No, things were not under control, and things were going to get a lot worse.
Ugh. Move! Move! Oh, shit. I'm on Ipsa Pass going down. There's 2 cougars. They didn't move. I threw rocks like crazy. Hey! Where are you, cougar?